You probably noticed right off the bat that this video is taking place somewhere other than where I usually film from. Right now I'm in my childhood bedroom. Reason being that I'm going to show you something very important from my childhood that I've referred to in other videos but never shown. And if you're wondering why the rubber gloves, I'm not Anthony Palumbo, but this is not a no rubber situation because although I value the item I'm about to show you, it is also one that I'm a bit afraid to touch at this point. Here it is, the Relish. The Relish that I've referred to countless times on my personal website and my videos. Block and Guggenheim Relish from 1994. This was purchased on May 22nd, 1994. So it will turn 25, well, it probably was already bottled by then, but it'll have its 25th anniversary being in my family later this month. So I just felt it deserved a song and a shout and some recognition. You can see it smells like sludge, liquid. I guess it would be an interesting suicide method to kill yourself by eating this, but probably not a very pleasant one. While I was here, no rubber, while I was here, I found some of my old writings that I put together when I was in kindergarten through second grade. During those years, I was frequently sent to the school psychologist because they were a bit disturbed by some of the things that I wrote. Some of them I post to my website, but here's Preserve the 80s grand debut of Heads, a book I wrote in 1989. Yeah, we will share this now. As you can see, I did not know how. Well, the next page. First page says there are many heads in this world. And as you'll notice, the noses are hanging off of everyone's face. I couldn't at the time figure out how to draw from a proper perspective and show someone's nose and their face. I was asked why I only drew pictures of Indians because I guess my teachers thought they were supposed to be feathers. But anyway, on with the book. Some are bald. Some are overflowing with hair. Some are as skinny as a pin. Some are fat. And some are fat and bald. Skinny ones are called pinheads. Fat ones are called fatheads. Heads are on everybody. They have a liquid, a skull, and a brain inside. On the outside, heads have 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. There is also a chin on the outside. There's the chin. There are ears on the outside too. The head is the highest part of the body. And I guess that's it. Well, that was quite a thumping good read if I do say so myself. Now we'll move on to some that got me sent to the school counselor. Looking back, I can see why. At the time, I thought they're relatively benign, just weird. These are the original pages, original copies, but these are nearly 30 years old. They're a bit tough to read, so I've, for legibility purposes, put them onto my computer, and I will now share with you the thoughts of a very disturbed mind from the early 90s and late 80s. First story is called The Canadians. The Canadians are very fat and very dirty. All 4 of them live in a hut. Canadian Max is the fattest. Canadian Joe is the dirtiest. Canadian Mike is the most annoying. Canadian Max smells the worst. The hut is in a pine forest and they live there with their yak. Every year on New Year's Eve, one of the Canadians drives the van to get to town to buy lard. This year is Canadian Max's turn. Canadian Max went to the store, and when he came home, he covered the floor with lard and said, "Hey guys, lard." Smack, Canadian Joe jumped down from the loft. Smash, Canadian Mike jumped into the lard through the window. Bash, Canadian Mac slid into the lard from the table. Bing, Canadian Max hurled himself down into the lard. The next day, after a breakfast of beer, flies, and vests, all the Canadians went into a van. They drove around. They got out of the van with their chainsaws and started to saw down houses. One man in a house yelled, "What are you doing?" Canadian Max said, "I'm sawing down your house. What do you think?" And so ends the Canadians. Next, I will share with you Wally the Waffle. One day, Wally the Waffle was cross. He didn't like it that the Dent family kept cooking and eating all of his friends. "Waffles don't deserve this. It's sad and it hurts," said Wally. Then Wally had an idea. He would have a meeting with all the Waffles in the Dent house. On Friday, when Mr. and Mrs. Dent were at work and Ted was at school, the meeting started. Wally was worried because only 6 Waffles were there. That means somebody didn't come. "Where is Ed?" asked Wally. "Ted ate him for breakfast this morning," said Henrietta. "Oh no, this has to stop. We need to get back at the Dents. It is their time to burn. I will tell you how," said Wally. The Waffles made their plan and went into action. They moved all the numbers and stickers around and turned the burners on so the Dents wouldn't know if they were hot. They then stole fangs from Ted's Halloween costume so they could bite the Dents. The Dents came home and wanted to have Jiffy Pop. They all went to the stove and burned their hands. "Ow," they all screamed. Wally and his friends then rolled into the kitchen and began to jump on the Dents, biting them as they wailed in pain. "This is how it should be. Now you know how we feel," said Wally. "We're sorry," said Ted. "We didn't know you could feel things." "Well, we can," said the Waffles. The Dents never ate Waffles again, and Wally and his friends helped fix the burners. Everyone felt normal. The end. And our final story is entitled The Chicken McNugget Festival. One day, Jane, Wayne, and Stuart were going to Denny's by the highway. The Chicken McNugget Festival is going to happen. It was sponsored every year on October 20th in honor of Jane, Wayne, and Stuart. It wasn't their birthday. They're just plain spoiled. When they got there, everyone dived into the food. Eggs everywhere, chicken everywhere, mayonnaise everywhere. Everyone feasted, Stuart and all. It is 1 o'clock, the time when the Chicken McNuggets go to the leaves. When the Chicken McNuggets were released, Jane Wayne got free, but she was too late. The Chicken McNuggets had put on tubes and jumped into the river. "Oh no," said Stuart. "We must not let them get away," yelled Jane Wayne. "Too bad," said Stuart. "We will probably miss them next time." When they got home, it was supper time, because they spent all afternoon looking at signs. Then they wanted Chef Boyardee meals, so they picked up cans and sat in the burners. Stuart and Jane Wayne stayed in the burners for 11 seconds, then jumped off because they were hot. Jane Wayne saw the burner had put red checkers on her dress. "What perfect fashion to eat my Chicken McNuggets in," yelled Jane Wayne. Stuart's pants had a red square. "Hooray," he hollered. The end. Well, after those riveting tales, I guess I can see why they thought I was a bit not right in the head. And I'm probably not. One thing I know for certain is that this relish is simply it's simply an inspiration to all who see it, to all who are fortunate enough to know it, and it deserves a much better videographer than myself because I'm not capturing the image of it very well. But we'll see you again, Relish, in another 25 years for your golden anniversary. And with that, I conclude this video.